morning. This is Sister Paula Rose, and welcome to Cooking with Me here at the Mother House. What we're going to do today is we're going to be cooking from our St. Mary's Jubilee cookbook. As you know, years ago, our Academy girls, our graduate alumni and sisters put together this book with their favorite SCL recipes. Today we're going to try one. As you can see from the book, however, it's pretty well worn. This is Sister Marie Carmel's book, and we have a lot of wonderful cooks here at the Mother House, and this book is well used and well referenced. So today I'm going to pick out one recipe, and we're going to do chocolate glop. I know that if any of alumni are listening to this, they know that that's one of our favorites. And it's not very hard to make, but we just don't get it anymore. I did actually make this recipe and send it over to the kitchen as a sample, but it didn't turn out so well. But today we're going to make it. How it got the name, I'll never know, but when you look at it, it looks like glop, but it tastes wonderful. So let's get started. The recipe is on page 170 of our book, and the first thing it tells you to do is sift the first 5 ingredients, which are 1 cup of flour, which I have measured already, and 3/4 cup of sugar, which I have already fixed, measured out for you. My sifter is just a strainer, which is an easy piece of equipment that every kitchen has. Oh, pardon me, that's what any cook does, spill the ingredients. This is 2 tablespoons of cocoa, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So those are the first 5 ingredients, and they're all going to be together in my book, in my kit. We're just kind of sifting them all together, just to kind of mix them up. As you can see, it's pretty simple. And the ingredients are pretty simple. There's not any eggs in our cake batter. And that's the batter. And then to this, all these dry ingredients, we are going to add oil, which is 2 tablespoons of oil, cooking oil of any kind. I use vegetable oil. And we are going to add a teaspoon of vanilla, which I can't pre-measure. Teaspoon of vanilla, pure vanilla, of course. And milk, 1/2 cup of milk. Great. And this just gets all mixed together. Doesn't take a lot of beating. It's just going to be a thick, kind of a gooey dough. You can see pretty good here. Just kind of a thick dough. Just going to stir it enough so that all those ingredients get mixed up good in there, as well as the oil. And then the next thing we're going to add to this is 3/4 cup of nuts, which are optional, but we love nuts in the chocolate glop. See, this really goes together pretty fast. If you got everything measured out and you have everything in your kitchen, which most of us do, it goes pretty fast. But the magic ingredients is that boiling water. And you can see it's like, what in the heck is she doing? But it's what makes this chocolate glop glop. Okay. That's stage 1. You want the water to boil. And my oven is set at 350 degrees, so that's all ready to go. Here's our mess. In that, get my little rag here. In the hot water, we're going to add 3/4 cup of brown sugar and 1/4 cup of cocoa. And that's just going to be, we're going to add that to the hot water, and then that hot water is going to be poured over the top of the cake mixture. About ready. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes. It's a cup and 3/4 of water. So it takes a little bit of time to boil. Got to get all the bad things out of it. And like I said, it hasn't been too long ago when some of our alumni came back and they remembered that I was in the kitchen at one time. You know, this recipe, I don't know where it came from. You know, the alumni know about it from the academy and the college as well as our older sisters. So, and I grew up here on this campus. My mom lived in the academy, my dad lived in the men's house, and so they too ate here and have great memories of chocolate glop. So this is an old recipe. In the book, it was submitted by Sister Ann Joseph, who was in charge of the kitchen at the time that the book was published. And I'm sure she took it from our archives of famous recipes. Our water is ready. As you can see, it's nice and boiled. And in that water, we're going to add this 3/4 cup of brown sugar. It melts pretty quickly. And 1/4 cup of cocoa. This really is what's going to make the pudding, or the glop part of the cake. And once this is all stirred together, and this is kind of, all right, doesn't take long, melts together. Make sure the little lumps get out of the cocoa. Okay, now here's the magic part. This water, hot water and brown sugar just gets poured over the cake mixture. You don't want to pour it too fast because it'll kind of indent the, so make sure that it all gets in there. Oops. Some nice ingredients. Okay. There we have it. Chocolate glop in the raw. We're going to put it in the oven, 350, for about 45 minutes. Voila! We have chocolate glop. And you know, what the recipe always says it's best served with warm and with ice cream and whipped cream. Well, forget that. We never had that as a community members, and I'm sure the academy girls didn't have it either warm, but it's best served warm. So it's really pretty warm, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it so you can see the miracle of this dessert. As you can see, the pudding is in the bottom. That's the glop. And if you let it cool a little bit, it thickens up like pudding, but not a whole lot. We don't want it thick. You want it to be juicy so that the pudding goes on top of the cake. And if you want to look up something similar to this online, it's usually called pudding cake or chocolate pudding cake or whatever. But of course, this is our SCL recipe and nothing beats that. Let me just cut this so I can get a piece out and show you. Kind of juicy on the bottom, but again, it's warm. So that's kind of the miracle of this little thing. Alright, here we go. And serving a chocolate glop. Here's the pudding, and then as this cools, you will see. Here is the pudding. And it goes on top. And when this cools a little bit, that sets up sort of like a thin pudding type thing. And as you can see, if you put ice cream on that and serve it, it's sort of like having a brownie with your chocolate syrup built in. And it's absolutely delicious. So there you have it. Cooking with Sister Paula Rose in honor of the Sisters of Charity and our alumni cookbook. Thank you.